Hello everyone. Hope you are doing well. I am Aniket Wagmare from CTech Hyderabad. Today I am going to give a talk on in-memory database. The agenda for this talk, which is in-memory database, as follows. Firstly, we will see the introduction and overview of the topic, followed by architecture of IMDb, their practical application. Then we will see the comparison between in-memory database and disk resident database, impact of IMDb, and will discuss related one or two example for it. So let's get started with an introduction to in-memory database. An in-memory database, also known for a main memory database or memory resident database, is a database management system that primarily relies on main memory for data storage. It is contrasted with database management system that employ a disk storage mechanism. In-memory databases are faster than disk-optimized database because disk access is slower than memory access. The internal optimization algorithm are simpler and executes with fewer CPU instructions. Accessing data in memory eliminates seek time when querying the data, which provide faster and more predictable performance than disk. The application where response time is critical, such as those running telecommunication network equivalent and mobile advertising networks, often use main memory databases. IMDb have gained a lot of attraction, especially in the data analytics field. A potential technical hurdle or limitation with the in-memory data storage is volatility of RAM, specifically in the event of power loss, international or otherwise. Data stored in volatile RAM is getting lost. The architecture of IMDb. So now let's go through the architecture of IMDb management system. As you can see, four components into the system: application, SQL engine, data store, and secondary storage. So initially a request for a data is made by application from the database through the database API using queries. Further, it retrieves data from disk and keep copy of data in traditional database system. Now the data is modified and is passes through API and updates the data in system. As more number of CPU cycles are there in traditional database, which cannot be avoided, but in case of memory database system, they can be avoided as reside in RAM. So there are less CPU cycles are required. The advantage of IMDb, the major advantage of system using in-memory databases versus traditional database system is its performance speed. The traditional optimization algorithm for in-memory database are simpler and execute fewer CPU instructions, thereby facilitating faster response times than disk optimized database. Source data is loaded into the system memory in a composed and format manner. Therefore, in-memory processing reduces disk seek time for accessing data and streaming the work involved in processing query. An in-memory database system streaming processing by eliminating multiple data transfers reduces memory consumption by removing multiple copies of data and simplifies processing by minimizing CPU demands. The practical application of it, the application that demand very fast data access, storage, and manipulation in real-time embedded systems. The music database in MP3 players, programming data in set-top boxes, e-commerce and social networking sites, financial services and search engine-based applications, and many more. Let us see the comparison between in-memory database system and disk resident databases. Firstly, in disk resident database, which carries file IO executions, requires extra memory for cache. Algorithm is optimized for disk. In this, more CPU cycles are there and assume memory is abundant. Where on the other side, the in-memory database system, no requirement of files, IO burdens, no extra memory, and the algorithm is optimized for memory. In IMDb system, less CPU cycles and uses memory more efficiently. The impact of IMDb, the impact of IMDb management system is the data representations. So in the disk resistant DB, we use flat files and sequential access, where in IMDb, relational tuple with the direct pointers and used so it is space efficient, shared between columns and relations. Concurrency control, which is log based. In IMDb, due to fast processing, it creates cursor locks, locking granules like a relations or entire database, and no need of hash table lookups. The data access method in DRDB, B tree index structure is used, ranges are used, and exact matches query are takes place. The data access lies in hard disks. So in IMDb, T-tree index structure is explicitly designed, which reduce CPU processing, eliminate index value comparison, and expansions. In-memory database can be said to lack support for the durability portion of the ACID properties. Many main memory databases have added durability via the following mechanism: checkpoint, transaction login, and NVRAM, means non-volatile RAMs, which help into the ACID property improvement into the IMDb. So here are some open source IMDb platforms to be considered: Apache Ignite, Redis, VoltDB, Altibase. Apache Ignite, a Java-based middleware that forms an in-memory layers over an existing DB, can work in a single or distributed environment. Seamless integration with MapReduce and Hadoop system. Redis is a key value store based on system which support for key data structure, schema free, data durability feature is optional. So good programming language support is there into the Redis. VoltDB, traditional RDBMS with schema support, work using Java stored procedure that application can involve through the JDBC. The company collaborating with the Samsung for scaling in-memory data processing with the Samsung DRAM as a SSD devices. The Altibase, hybrid database that combines an in-memory database and on-disk database into a single product to achieve the speed of memory and the storage capacity of the disk. So we will take Apache Ignite and Redis implementation briefly. So let's get started. Apache Ignite is the in-memory computing platform that is durable, strongly consistent, and highly available with a powerful SQL, key value, and processing APIs. We support also fault tolerant distributed in-memory computing platform also. Apache Ignite as an in-memory database. Apache Ignite is an in-memory computing platform that enables you dramatically accelerate and scale out your existing data intensive application without ripping and replacing your existing database. It can reduce query times by 1,000 versus disk-based system. You can scale out by adding new nodes to your cluster, which can handle hundreds of terabytes of data from multiple databases. You can modernize your existing data intensive architecture by inserting Apache Ignite between your existing application and database layers. Apache Ignite integrates seamlessly with RDBMS, NoSQL, and Apache Hadoop databases. It features a unified APIs which support SQL, C++, .NET, PHP, MapReduce, Java, Scala, Groovy, Python, Node.js, etc. That protocols for the application layer. Your Apache Ignite cluster applications and database can run on premises in a hybrid environment or on the cloud platform such as AWS and Microsoft Azure. Starting Ignite cluster, you can start an Ignite cluster node from the command line using the default configuration or by passing custom configuration file. You can start as many nodes as you like and they will all automatically discover each other. Go to the bin folder of Ignite installation directory from the command shell. Start an Ignite node with a custom configuration file, passing it as parameter that ignite.sh like this. You will see the output similar to this one below. So here node started okay, means indicate that your Ignite cluster gets started and you can able to perform various DB operation into it. Now we will start the Python thin client of Apache Ignite. Python thin client allows your Python application to work with Apache Ignite cluster via binary client protocol. This thin client is abbreviated as PyIgnite. A thin client is lightweight Ignite client that connects to the cluster via standard socket connection. It does not start in JVM process. Java is not required at all. Does not become a part of cluster topology. Never hold any data or used destination of compute grid calculations. What does it is? It simply establish a socket connection to a standard Ignite node and perform all the operation through that node. It allows you key value operation to communicate with the Java Cache API. The SQL query to perform the database operation and communicate with the data. You can install PyIgnite from Python PyP repository. So running an example of PyIgnite. After installing PyIgnite, let's run an example using existing Python examples that are derived with every Ignite distribution for the sake of quick getting started, which are available onto the official site of Apache Ignite. Run Apache Ignite server to start a cluster node with a default configuration. Open the terminal and assuming you are at Ignite home, that is Ignite installation folder, and here your cluster will be started. So at the same time, open the another terminal and try to run existing program given by distribution as shown here for better understanding. And by such process, the Apache Ignite gets carried out and you can use it based on your purpose as you go. That's it for the Apache Ignite. So introduction to Redis. Redis is an open source BSD license in-memory data structure store used as database, cache, message broker. It supports data structure such as string, hashes, list, set, sorted set with range queries, bitmap, hyperlogs, geopartial index with a Redis queries and streams. Redis has built-in replication, LRU eviction policies, which is least recently used transaction and different level of on-disk persistence, and provide high availability and Redis statistical and automatic partitions with Redis cluster. Redis holds the database entirely in the memory using the disks only for persistence. Redis has a relatively rich set of data type when compared to many key value data stores. Redis can replicate data to any number of slaves. Advantage of Redis. Following are the certain advantage of Redis. Exceptionally fast. Redis is very fast and can perform about 11 lakh sets per second, about 81,000 gates per second. Support rich data types. Redis natively support most of the data types that developers already know, such as list, set, sorted set, hashes. This makes it easy solve a variety of problems as we know which problem can be handled better by which data type. Operations are automatic. All Redis, sorry, operations are atomic. All Redis operations are atomic, which ensures that if two clients concurrently access Redis server, will receive the update values. Multi-value, multi-utility tool. Redis is multi-utility tool and can be used in a number of use cases, such as caching, message queues. Redis natively support publish, subscribe, any short-lived data in your application, such as web application session, web page hit count, etc. So let's install Redis from source code. First, download the Redis source code as a tarball by Redis and curl. Now switch over to root and extract the archive source code to user local lib. Optionally, you can now remove the archive itself. This will leave you with the source code repository as Redis table directory. As Redis is written in C, so you will need to compile link and install with make utility. So using make utility does two actions. The first, make command compiles and link the source code. The make install part takes the binaries and copies them to bin so that you can run from anywhere. So assuming that you are onto the path. At this point, take a moment to confirm that Redis is in your path or not. So we will check the version of it. So it will show you version which you get installed successfully using Redis CLI -- version. If your shell can't find Redis CLI, checks to make sure that user local bin is on your path environment variable or not. If not, it it may be not get properly added. While all of these have some intended use, the two you will probably care about most are Redis CLI and Redis server, which we'll outline shortly. So getting started with it, Redis has client server architecture and uses request response model. This means that the client connect to the Redis server through TCP connection on port 6379 by default. Your request some action like some from the reading, writing, setting and updating, and server you back the response. There can be many client taking the same server, which is really what Redis or any client server application is all about. Each client does typically blocking read on a socket waiting for the server response. Now you are ready to launch the Redis REPL, which is read eval print loop, where you can run client command directly from the shell. You will see the server host port pair followed by a greater than prompt as given on screen. There can be many client have the monitor of it, and Redis also have their monitor. So we can see the status of the each key. So here one of the simplest Redis command, that is ping, which just test connectivity to the server and returns POM if things are okay. Redis commands are case sensitive, although their Python counterparts are more definitely not. So here we are setting the value as Hyderabad to the key Telangana. After that, it will give you OK message, means your key is successfully set. Similarly, for below one key is set with its value. If you want to see the value of it, use get and followed by the key which you want. If the key is not set, then it returns nil. In the same fashion, you can do with the Python also and use based on your purpose. So that's it for the session. Thank you.